Oh, I'm finally freaking doing it. Let's go. This is so fun. Oh, almost fell. Summer's gone. 3 months. Flew by. Here in autumn now. It sucks because none of us got to do any of the summer things that we usually do. Spent all of it, or most of it, indoors. Bums me out. And throughout a majority of those 3 months, my mind was rotting. I'm not talking about the type of rotting that happens when you watch too much Netflix or when you play too many video games. I'm talking about the type of rotting that happens when my creativity and when my ideas just sit there and they're not expressed. Alright, allow me to speak while I have this room to myself. So, everybody comes up with an idea. Whether it's business, in the arts, socializing like a joke, or whatever it may be. A lot of ideas like start up in here and then they either get expressed or they just die. More often than not, those ideas that are birthed right in here also pass away in the same exact place without ever being expressed. Have you ever had one of those moments where you're hanging out with your friends and you want to say a joke or you want to bring up a talking topic and it just like disappeared, like you just forgot what it was? And it's so infuriating whenever that happens, but it occurs so often with everybody. But what I think is more maddening than that, and maybe some of you can relate to this, is when you have the idea and it doesn't go away, it sticks right in here, but you can't do it. You can't execute on it for a number of circumstances, or you have to wait. That's probably even more difficult. Like the time in which you conceive the idea to the time that you can actually execute it, that whole like window right there is one of the more difficult things that artists have to do because A, you didn't have the tools for it, or B, the location and the timing wasn't right. That's what I had to deal with during most of this summer, and it hurt. It hurt a lot. It hurt a lot to just wait. It just started to affect my mood in a lot of different ways. I have this notebook where I write down all my ideas. I have had this notebook since November 2018, my last day of college. And in this notebook are all these ideas and projects that I've lined up for myself since that day, and 2 years later, I feel like I've only completed about 10% of it. It's not that I'm lazy, nobody can ever call me that, but everybody knows that it's much easier to come up with an idea versus executing it. Executing it takes a whole bunch of time. It's a simple fact of life that nobody in their entire lifetime has enough time to execute every single idea that they have. And even though that's a well-known fact, it doesn't make it any better when I have to wait and when these ideas just sit and rot and get spoiled in my mind. Here's a simple parallel. My buddy, months and months ago, back in March I think, wanted to propose to his girlfriend of many years. He wanted to put a ring on it and he wanted to marry her. We came up with a plan and we headed down to LA to execute this plan.
What time is it?
1:59.
What's today? Today's Tuesday?
March 17th, Tuesday.
Right before the mandatory Bay Area closes.
Yeah, escaped it by 2 hours.
Oh my gosh.
Made it. I'm gonna take photos of this guy.
I would have canceled if you couldn't make it, honestly.
Well, that would feel bad if I said oh no, I'm gonna stay home.
It's in no one's control. So
yep. It was golden. We were on track, and everybody was ready to celebrate this huge momentous occasion. But then COVID hit.
Yeah, I just want to document.
Oh, March 19th, 11:01 p.m. I was here to photograph Edwin's engagement to Emily, but then I found out I wasn't getting paid. So I decided that it was only prudent to go back home.
No, tell the real story.
Did I stutter?
Goodbye.
This is it.
We will see you again.
If we don't get infected, yep. There will always be another day to propose. Unless it's still a surprise that we didn't just say. I don't know when to show you this. Bye. And my buddy had to cancel all of his plans the day before he was about to propose. And his girlfriend didn't even know that there was something coming, something huge and ceremonious, and it just disappeared unbeknownst to her. Can you imagine planning for this huge thing? This huge commitment that you want to make to the love of your life, and you have to wait months and months and months for you to actually do it? We ended up pulling it off later down the road. He ended up proposing. Celebratory, like, applause for them. But this is the parallel that I'm trying to draw. I was in love with all these ideas. When you create art, it's so mentally and emotionally tied. It is a part of you. And when you have to wait to essentially put the ring and execute on these ideas, it hurts. waiting all that time. But most of those ideas revolved around owning this camera that I'm shooting on right now, which is the Canon EOS R5. And this camera in particular was delayed for 2 months because of COVID, and now I finally have it. But because of like that whole like window of delay, I had to shift my whole content calendar around, move some bits and pieces around, and you know, and you guys understand as artists and just like regular people in general, when life just throws you a curveball, you gotta roll with it. You just gotta like adjust and find a way to get through it, because not everything's gonna go according to plan. And yeah, I put out some videos that were a little bit out of order, and I'm really thankful that you guys gave it a watch. But those videos were really draining, because even though I got some stuff out, it kind of felt like a primary objective that just kept getting ignored. Like all these other videos that I want to make on this particular camera that was supposed to arrive on July 31st, they just kept getting delayed. And for these past 2 weeks of like me not making anything, like I just kind of like made the decision that I don't want to make any more filler videos. Like for those of you who watch anime, yo, fillers suck. Do me a favor and do everybody else a favor and drop a comment down below if you can relate to this whole like concept that I just made up, like of rotting creativity. These ideas that you have in your head that are just sitting up there and kind of just like aging away, and it bothers you so much because you're either A, a little bit too afraid to do it, or B, don't have the equipment to do it, or C, the timing is just not right. So drop a comment down below, share your story. I think it could really, oh god. But yeah, drop a comment down below. I think you could really help someone out today. This thing is sick. Thank you, One Wheel. With all that being said, we have the camera now. We can start working on these new videos, and whew, if you are still here at this point in the video, I don't know how long this video has been. Thank you guys for hanging in there. Thank you guys for sticking around. To all my old subs, I apologize for like my absence, but life is what it is during these times. But yes, you can expect more vlogs. Look forward to more personable talks like these. I can't tell you the other ideas that I'm working on. I want to keep that a surprise and keep it special. Thank you for all your time. Leave a like, comment, subscribe, and tell your friends that I'm back. Here's to another chapter of this channel. Peace.
What it do, what it does, where you been, where you was, but it ain't what it is. Face in the mud, I really be hating in the mud. Said I can't pick it up, but I did. Y'all know Goon put too much bass in the sub.